Hello. Today we're going to be doing a unicorn. I will tell you a little bit about, uh, before we start, what I've set up here. So I've got a small area to work with right here rather than have the whole big area like I normally do. This is because today we're going to be painting a unicorn with the sole purpose of to give it to somebody. And I think that I have somebody in mind that I'd like to give mine to, and I wanted to make sure that it was more reasonable size to mail. So, I ended up with this. And the reason that I masked off this area is because I'm also going to do it's an inspirational quote for this person. I'm not going to say who it is because they may end up watching it before they get it, and I don't want to ruin the surprise. But needless to say, yeah, it should be pretty fun, like it always is. I think this is my 6th video that I've done, so that would mean we've been in quarantine 6 weeks. Uh, and, um, you know, I've heard a couple people say that they're bored. My mom said she's bored. There's a lot of bored people around. I'm enjoying the downtime. Uh, and keeping myself busy with stupid stuff like this. Um, so, if you can keep yourself busy with stupid stuff too, then congratulations. All right, I'm gonna see if I can try to also share this to my page in case anybody wants to join. I have no idea how to do that. All right, well, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and keep doing what I'm doing, and if nobody joins, then because this is the first time I've posted it to my art page rather than my personal page, so I wasn't really sure who was getting that, but maybe I'll figure out a better way to do it next time. Who knows? Doesn't matter. Let's start the unicorn. All right. So one of the things that, like a quick disclaimer about unicorns is they are horsehead, and horsehead is one of the things that is like the most difficult for me to do, and I hope that I can get it looking like a unicorn head and not like something just super terrible, but we'll see. It's all part of the experiment. And like I said before, this part is masked off because I want to put an inspirational quote there with my unicorn. You have the choice if you want to do that or not. It's totally up to you, but I'm going to do it. All right. So let's start with the jaw area. So they have a pretty pronounced jaw. Horses, unicorns, what have you. And as you can see, it's kind of in the middle area. So then we're going to follow this down. We're going to make the mouth. And then there's a bump right here for their nose. And then there's going to be another nostril somewhere in this neighborhood right there. So there's a lip right there. And we'll finish that later. We're just going to want to get the general shape down. So this will dip in a little bit and then swoop back up so that you'll have a head right here. And you want to make sure that you have enough room for your unicorn horn. I barely have enough room, but it'll just be kind of a short little horn, so it'll be fine. So from this neck area, or this kind of like, what is it, a jaw? Is this their whole jaw? I mean, geez, it's kind of big. I guess it's supposed to be that big, but... Hi, Stacy. I see somebody found their way here. Yay. Okay, so this will dip in a little bit. Let's try to make it a little bit better with the lip. I do need to get a better eraser. Okay, so, and if you want to do a horse, I guess just do this, but without the horn. Figure that's the way to do it. All right, so we'll start maybe midway down this jaw area, and we're going to make a neck. We're going to come in, and then we're going to go back out. And that's the chest. There we go. And so it's starting to look super magical already, isn't it? Let's find out where we want that horn. This looks like a good area. So if you were to draw a line in the middle of the face, it would be kind of like right here. That would be the center. So it's coming out from the center, and kind of just working with the room that I gave myself. Unicorn horn right there. And we're going to continue it again around. And this part's going to have hair and everything, so just make this a super light line, just so you know where you're going. All right. And I think that I'm going to give myself a little bit more room for this. Right here. So like, if you wanted to, of course, like paint anything and then just leave something without paint while you're painting, that's what I'm doing right here, just with masking tape. There's fancier stuff you can use, but you know, like a mask that you can paint, but this is what I got. All right, so the horn, we're not going to make lines that just go straight across because the horn kind of swirls up like that. So we're going to follow that vibe up here. Let's kind of make it look like it's swirling. So we're just going to put curved lines all the way to the top. And if you want to make it look a little bit more three-dimensional between the lines, you can give it a little bump it up like that. So that it looks like it's swirling up there and round and all that good stuff. All right. So next, let's find out where we want to put the eye. So let's give like a line right here to the nose, just so we know where it is. The eye can be right in this area right here. You can make the eye however you want. It can be a little cartoony eye, it can be realistic, it can be a cute little, anime eye or something, whatever you feel like doing. Mine is looking up towards the future. To unicorn freedom. All right. There's the unicorn eye. Next, we're going to find out where the ear is going to be. We'll put it right around here. So this will be the ear in the foreground. Of course, there'll be another ear back here. We can sketch it in if we wanted to. And we can get the inside of the ear going. And of course, this can be used as just, you could keep it as a sketch drawing, or you can paint along afterwards. It's totally up to you. A lot of times I'll sketch something and then I'll like it so much that I'll want to do a painting of it. So I'll already have that sketch made. Let's do the fancy hair. So you got this part like right in the middle that's coming out on the forehead. And you'll want to make sure that you go behind as well as in front of the horn at this point. And, make hair curly, straight, whatever you feel like. Don't forget you want to put some in front of the horn also. You might want to make some adjustments while you're doing this, just so it's easier to figure out where you're going to paint. Okay, starting to come together. Give them a little hairdo. Make sure it goes around the ears. Yeah, behind the ears. Start just give the hair whatever type of hairdo you feel like you want to give them. And you can even just leave this for the painting part if you want to kind of go wild with it. And just erase the parts that are not applicable if you feel like it. It's I like to do that just to reduce confusion. And you know, when I'm painting, a lot of times I'll like to turn it off, turn my brain off, and obviously. And so if I make a ton of marks in one area, I'll be like, well, which mark did I really want to focus on? I don't even remember, and it'll just frustrate me a little bit. And we don't want that. We want this to be like a relaxing experience. Ooh, that's beautiful. I like yours, Junko. How did you get the motion in there? So, let's see. It would be kind of neat. I think it'd be kind of cool to. I'm doing some experimenting right now. And I don't care if you care. Oh, you're probably okay with it. I'm sure you're fine with it. I can experiment, right? So if I wanted to mask something, let's see, around the guy, let's do this the other way. Bear with me, folks. I just okay. I'm gonna get this darn shape right, and then so like it'll go around the back. I don't. Like, what are you doing if you're not experimenting with stuff and shit? So you can even apparently you can even shape these around each other. So what I'm doing is I'm making it so that this is going to be blank in the background as well as somewhat in the foreground. Just trying to do something fancy. Don't mind me. Okay, I say it's time to start painting. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to use my palette. Before I was using, for the past few times I was using a different type of palette, but I'm going to use Old Trusty this time. So I'm just gonna do basically all the colors in the rainbow. I'm gonna go for blues and reds and yellows and all the other stuff. I guess the question is which one to start with. So I guess I have a choice, don't I? I also got this. Check this out. Ooh, gold. Where am I gonna put gold? Okay, I'll wait. Alright, if you need time to catch up and draw that horse face, unicorn face, well, feel free to do so. I'm going to think about what I'm going to do for my next step. So my options here are I might do the background first, or I might do this horse first, unicorn first. I think I'm going to do the background first. It just seems like what I'm into today. So I've got my water and my brush, and I'm going to paint the background like a light blue. So I've got king blue. I don't know if I like this blue. I do like this blue. Okay. See what I'm kind of debating. I got this on sale. So I haven't really used it much, but I think it would make a kind of nice color because it's, you know, I'm thinking something pastel-y, because that's kind of the way of the unicorn. All right. So, put some blue in there. And I'm just going to paint around the edges. Oh, this is thick. So I'm going to add more water because it's too thick for me. I like to use, well, these are acrylics right here. And I like to use them like watercolors. If you want to use watercolors, feel free to. Acrylics, oils. You can use pencil. You can use charcoal. You can use a computer. You can use, I think, ketchup. You can crunch up bugs and use them. There's a couple more things you could probably use that I'm not going to mention. Just use your imagination, right? You figure it out. So I hope you have somebody in mind that you're thinking of while you paint this. That's the whole point right now, is to make sure that somebody knows that you would indeed go out of your way to paint a unicorn for them and send it to them. It's because you're thinking of them. Wouldn't that be nice? Like, just to get something like a unicorn in the mail and be all like, what? It's just like super magical and all that. Actually, I have no idea. If somebody sent it, well, no, I've been sent art before randomly. I like it. I enjoy it. So to make sure I'm fulfilling the purpose of this masking tape, gotta have to remember this area down here. I can't neglect it. There we go. And I found an inspirational quote to use just by, just searching for something. And most of them are really bad and really cheesy, but I picked kind of a, one of those, like a no-brainer, like, well, of course. Not something complicated and convoluted like live, laugh, love. Like, all right, vague enough? Live, like, okay, done. Laugh, at who and when. And then we have, I guess love is a good advice, but again, freaking vague. Love, like, who? How often? And what? Like, should I love ice cream? Because I friggin' do. I'm already halfway to Karen. I'm sure I'm more than halfway to Karen. What about that? Purred beast. Majestic. All right. I didn't put music on this time, so that means that it won't be flagged for content. Wow. Well, I mean, on YouTube, it won't be. It had been. Okay, let's try some color. What we're gonna do first I want to do red. I'm going to do some straight up rainbow action. I'm not, I'm just going to go all out on this. So I've got Alzarian Crimson Hue, which I'm going to use for the dark red. So more like the shadows. And then I've got, I'm going to have to go cadmium red. Cadmium red deep hue. So deep. Alright. And that I'm just going to use for my first color. I'm going to put all the colors on there. Might as well. And then good old trusty dioxazine purple. Look what I found in the garage. Guys, I have a whole other one that I forgot I had. Wow. This one was almost empty, and I was like, crap, it's almost empty. And then I was in the garage the other day, and in walked in this one. And I was like, what's up, Jessica? I've got more purple in me than you probably thought you ever had. Yeah, and you know what? It was right. I didn't know I had all this purple. I was going to buy a whole new thing. Let's use this purple. Oh, it's still in good shape, too. I mentioned earlier that some of these paints will go crappy before others. So if you don't plan on painting a lot, get good quality paints so that they don't just fall apart in a year or whatever, however long you end up holding on to them. It's kind of like how I am with makeup. Like I can't even keep it because I don't use it enough, and whenever I use it, it's like at that point it's not recommended to use because it's too old. I'm like, it's gonna have bugs on it or something, like eyeball mites, or I don't know what old makeup has on it, but it's not worth it. It's not worth finding out, you know? I'm going slow, you guys. Oh. I'll get this done, though. So what I'm trying to do right now is get the white out of my thing, but it's not working. I'm going to go find some more. One moment. All right. It is weird without music. I can sing if you want. I can sing a little Billy Ocean, a little Caribbean Queen. Okay. So I'm going to do some red. I'm going to water it down quite a bit. And I'm just going to hook myself up with some red for this hair. And I'll just kind of go down the rainbow, just red, blah, 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 orange. Just make sure it looks super pretty. And there's orange is next. I remember when my kid was little, like super little, rainbows were very important in school. You know, they'd sing songs about rainbows like all the freaking time. I mean, I get it; they're pretty, but like math is also a thing. I shouldn't be talking though. So I'm just gonna go down along the hairline and do whatever I feel is right. Because there really is no wrong way to eat a creases here. And this is going to be yellow. And I'm using a kind of a medium small brush. I probably don't need to. I could probably use a bigger brush. So what comes next? Let's do some greenish. Green. And as much as you want to blend these, you try as much as you feel you want to put as much effort in, because like it's challenging. I get it. Just don't stress yourself out. I'm kind of into. I'm really into color when I paint. Not so much like in regular day-to-day life. I own a lot of black and gray clothing and whatever. But when it comes to paintings, when it comes to art, I'm just really into as much color as possible. So go for it. And again, I'm running into this blue, and that's okay. This blue tape, that's what we want. We want to make sure that when we take off that tape, it is, there's no paint under there. Got it? Here, Jessica, we got it. Some blue. And the more water you put on there, if you're using acrylics or watercolor, I think the cooler it looks. Just make sure you wash the drippage. I have no idea if this actually made it behind the masking or not. We'll see, I suppose. It's getting there. If you want to make some hair, like brush strokes for hair, feel free to do that too. Because, remember just who you're painting this for, and think, well, what would they like? What do you think that they'd like to see? Well, if they're into like, oh, the color purple, then you might want to just paint the whole darn thing purple. That's fine. All right, so we got a little main action, and now let's go for the horn. So I got gold. I don't know if I really want to make the whole thing gold. What should I do? I think that I want to do the same thing to the horn that I did to the hair. But I want to make sure that I have some sort of shine on it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna imagine. So I don't have tape that's small enough, but I'm gonna imagine that there's kind of a shiny line going right down there. See if it works. And when you're making your shine, you also want to remember that it's also three-dimensional. It's curved, so I think I forgot purple. I did forget purple. Okay, I want to do some purple. Enough of that. Okay, so getting back to what we were doing, there's orange is next, I believe. We'll do orange for the next one. I didn't put much water in this. Alright. Just gonna make another mark where the reflection or shine or whatever you want to call it is. Give it a little extra something. And then what's next, kids? Yellow! Yeah! Ooh. What am I going to name this one? I'm going to name it Sparkles. Ah, Sparkles. You sure are handsome. And if you want to get some little touch-ups here and there, not you like realize, oh, there's not enough yellow here, there's too much of this, just go in there and fix it, right? So what's after yellow? It's green. Okay, let's do green. And then we're doing green. And here's a quick tip. Is what I always have in my hand is Mr. Rag, because it takes care of drips real quick, and every time I do, I go, and it dries it off, and I can start over. So Mr. Rag, very helpful fella. So we're green, and we do blue, and we do oh, look at how we did a perfect number for what we're doing. I did plan it that way, I swear. Get the blue in there. Yep. I'm just keeping this shine on more or less like the right hand side area. Goes up further and further. I don't know if, yeah, you can see it. And then the last one is purple. All right, hopefully this is what you've got more or less going on. You know, you can get some time to catch up a little bit while I take a drink of coffee and hang out a little bit. These classes are always 1 hour long and always free and always like painting some silly animal or you know, it's probably kid friendly-ish. If you want to share it with your nieces and nephews and family members, it's kid friendly enough. I'm thinking, if you want to share it without watching the whole thing all the way through, I would have to say, probably safe. Like, nobody get mad at you. Well, I don't know. Hopefully nobody get mad at you. I don't want anybody getting mad at you. That's sad. They should be nice to you. Because you're trying to do nice things for them, right? Alright, let's get back to business. Okay. So this area of the ear, the little inner area, I'm ready to call that pink. And I did put a little bit of white here, and I'll just mix it with my red. You want to see what I'm doing? Just getting some pink happening. Dipping it in a little water. And wanting it a little bit on Mr. Rag. Here we go. The inside of the ear. That's where the unicorn stores all of its magic. The inner ear. Did you know that? Look how pretty that is. Just adorable. I'm thinking though their hair is not good enough. I need to do a little touch up. It almost looks like there's a chunk missing. And I'm almost going to fix that. Yes, I'm going to fix that up real good. Yeah, see, like, it's all up to you where you want to take this unicorn on a magical ride. If you want to spend more than an hour on this, feel free to continue at will. So I've decided that I'm going to have this unicorn be white. So I'm just going to have kind of like a light blue highlight. But a different type of blue than the background, so let's see what happens. I'm going to mix it with white. And I'm going to use that, I'll show you. So here's the background color right here. And then here's the color I just mixed. So it's significantly more, there's the white, significantly more light blue. And that is basically going to be the shade, the areas where the shadows are on this particular body. And you'll make sure you go ahead and blend it. And yeah, the background is really similar, so I might go back in eventually and fix that up a little bit. But you're going to want to put a shadow area underneath the jaw. Where else? That line that we drew on the nose, that's going to have a little depth to it too. So we can add that. Come on. And around the nose, there's nostril stuff. Nostril stuff. Stuff that happens. Yeah, maybe some under hair shadow action. So they can be like, wow, depth. Ooh, dimension. Or what have you. Then we gotta get the ear too. So we'll just say the bottom of the ear probably has some shading, and then maybe this one in the back. Around the eyes probably has some too. This back nostril definitely does. And underneath the lip, just take your best guesses, right? Like, what areas are going to have shading? What is it going to be around the eye? Oh, yeah, probably. If you want to even look at reference photos or just look at your own face in the mirror, maybe you'll get a clue. I don't mean it like that's how it sounded. I love you guys. So now you see it's kind of starting to come together. Let's get those shadows in. If you made your unicorn a different color for the body, then just make sure to use like a little darker version of this color around the shaded areas. And it should just be the same effect. I decided to make mine a white horse, so that light blue just kind of made sense. A little bit more up here. And if you go overboard with all this stuff, you know, chances are you can go back with another color and lighten it up. I think that it's okay though, it's fine. I do want to make the eye, so I'll do that right now. I'm just going to use my favorite type of purple. Just go in and get some details. I'm not sure what it's looking at. It's picking up too high. Look over here. There we go. We give it a eyelid. I wouldn't give it an eyebrow, but go ahead if you want to give it some eyebrows. Then go in and get some of the darker areas that need to get highlighted a little bit. You know, like the nose, and you can even go around and outline it if you want. What I think I'm going to do though is instead of outlining it, I think I'm going to give the background a little bit more depth so that the horse, god dang it, I keep calling it a horse, freaking unicorn, pops out a little bit more. You know, that whole thing where they want you to make it pop. This is what they want. And right now, this is what I want. Okay. So get in there and make it pop. Ah, yeah. What a cutie. Look at that beauty. Don't let my dog here. She'll get jealous. Because she thinks she's the only beauty in my life. But she's asleep right now. Okay, so just kind of going around the edges. You don't need to be worried about getting any of this perfect. Just, I guess the main thing that you'd want to keep your eye out for is if you're using watercolor, you don't want to layer them too much because it gets what they call muddy. Just that's the only real thing you want to worry about, or not worry about, just make sure you keep your eye out for. Otherwise, just go crazy. Sometimes the amount of water you put on your paper will rip a hole through your paper. I don't mean to worry you or concern you with these terrible ideas. Just something to keep your eye out for, because you might be really into a painting and doing your thing, and then all of a sudden it just takes a fart that you didn't expect, and you probably could have prevented it, and then you're like, regrets. Here's the horsey face smile. No. And then I'll go around the ear and do the same type of deal. Get my big brush out. Alright, big brush time. Yeah. And if you want to know like what to put this dark area, where to put this dark area, if you don't really want to think about it and just kind of just do it, then just keep in mind that the contrast is kind of what I'm going after, and it's pretty important when you're doing fancy paintings because it does give that pop thing. I hate to say it because it's so annoying for designers to hear that, but it's exactly what it is. It's the contrast that makes it look like it's kind of popping off the screen, popping off the page. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna go in, follow the original plan. It's a little late at this point to start making a new plan, but if you want to, go for it. At this point, I don't know, just probably a good idea to just finish it how you intended or how you've been intending this whole time. You're like, oh, I wish I'd not made it rainbow, but instead pink with purple polka dots. Just try that next time, I need to do everything right now. Right now we're just kind of practicing. And this ear does not need to be as white because it's in the background. I don't know if you can hear my dog snoring, but my dog is snoring. All right, I think part of the top part is not really getting, there we go. I just want to blend it just a little bit more here. Get some more definition. So at this point, I don't even know who this unicorn belongs to, right? Like if it's intended to be a gift, but is it mine till I give it away? What are the rules? I have to like not be as emotionally invested because I know I'm gonna say goodbye. Yes. What are the rules? Oh, this is all going so very well. I love this guy. He's very cute. And I'll be happy to give it to a new home. So, you know that blue that we made for the knot horse, the unicorn? I'm going to make a little darker version of that for the parts that were just a little bit darker. Here, I'll show you what I mean. 1 minute, please. So I got a little darker version, and then I'll just lightly put it here. And there's really no other places I want to put it. It's kind of right here. Maybe probably have any water on this. There. So now it's not just this light, or yeah, this light blue, but there's also some even deeper blue going on. Doo-doo-doo-doo. I can be blue. I'm thinking maybe even the inside of the ear, how we did that pink, we'll do the red that came from that we were mixing red and white, and put it around the ear. There are some areas that could be darkened up. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's looking all right. I'm excited to take that tape off because, I don't know, I'm just am. Can I just be excited about things? Is that allowed? So I'm putting in some red here and there. Give it a little bit more detail. Get some red on the tips, just the tips. Maybe a little bit more some dark color in between. I don't know what these things are. Parts of the horn. Cool. I think that is that. So let's do this thing. Ooh. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? It worked. Oh yeah. So now that I have that, I'm going to kind of sit back, take a sip of my coffee, and stare at it blankly. Mm. If you want to go ahead and do that with yours as well, take a little bit, make a little break, stare at it blankly, not blankly, semi blankly. Feel free. Caribbean queen, though we're sharing the same dream, and the heart. You hearing this? You get extra entertainment. That one was for Junko. So my message on my phone, the inspirational message. This is going to take longer than 4 minutes. We only have like 6 minutes left. But maybe this is what I'll do. I will write the message, and then it will just be written. So here's a message that I thought was inspirational enough. It says, one thing at a time. I'm like, you know what? One thing at a time indeed. One thing at a time indeed. I'm going to erase some of these pencil marks because they're igny. And I don't even let them. Some on the ear. Grab the oven. Here. Clean this puppy up a bit. And we're going to do one thing at a time. So, I know some people here are much better at typography than I am. I'm not going to name any names. But, let's see. Okay, I might need a little bit of adjustments on this. And I think I might just do, this text part. Later. I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on. Phew! Excuse me. So, we got 3 minutes left. I always like to keep my promise and make it under a certain, 1 hour. There's your finished piece. Should look somewhat like this. Unicorn. And like your inspirational message. One thing at a time. One thing at a time. And that goes with everything. Like you must not walk and talk on your cell phone at the same time. And now that I'm thinking about it, that message is really terrible. You can't multitask? One thing at a time, but you know what I also forgot? Gold. I forgot to put the gold on. Shoot. Maybe I'll make the text in gold. Well, when I'm done with this, I will make sure to post a finished image of this piece and put it somewhere on this page, on my Panda Bunny page, and then you all can see what kind of magic the gold does. The gold paint it's really actually not that cool. I think I'm building it up to more cool than it actually is. It's just gold paint. Not really that special. You know what's really cool though is gold leaf. You guys get your hand on some gold leaf. I feel like Junko probably has some because I left some at her house last time I was there. If she gave it away before she moved, probably I would. It's a mess. That stuff. I mean, it's really cool, but it's a dang mess. Anyway, well, it's 7:59, so you guys, I'm done. Thank you for painting with me, and I'll see you on the flip side. Bye.